Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to tie the FG knot. So the FG knot is my favourite knot for tying heavier lines because not only it's super strong, but once you've tied the knot it's a lot skinnier than, for example, a double uni knot, which is what I use for lighter lines. And having that skinnier knot will help with the knot moving through the eyes of your rod, which will help with your casting as well. So the line I'm going to be using today is this 40-pound braided line and 55-pound mono. And I've also got this homemade tool here that I'm going to be using. And for anyone that hasn't seen this knot before, you can tie it without this tool. There's heaps of different ways. People use their teeth, their toes, their fingers, but I just prefer this way and I thought it would help with filming the knot itself. But let's set this tool up and we'll get into it. Alright, so to set this little tool up, we're going to run our braid across this way, and we've got little wing nuts here that we're going to loosen. And we're going to place our line. We just got 2 rubber washers that the line goes in to protect the line. So we're going to place that in there, in between the 2 rubber washers, and tighten up the wing nut. And then we're going to pull it. We want a bit of tension on it. Place the braid into the other 2 washers on the other side and do that wing nut up. And make sure we got some tension on it. And then we're going to loosen this wing nut, run our mono across this way, and we want about 5 to 6 inches of line. So from where it crosses over the braid, we want about 5 to 6 inches on this side. And we'll just do that one up. Alrighty, so we're ready to tie the knot now. Alrighty, so to start the FG knot, we're going to grab our mono and we're just going to place it over the top of our braid like that. And then we're going to get the end of the mono and we're going to go under our braid like that. And then we're going to come back over towards us and we're going to pull that tight. And I'll get a close up in a sec. But your braid is just wrapping around the mono, and I'll show that shortly. But now we're going to do the same thing, but instead of going, so we started on this side, we went under. This time we're going to go under again, but on the opposite side. So under, over, pull tight, and that's 2 loops formed now around our mono. And we're going to do that about 15 to 20 times, depending on what size line you're using. We'll probably do 20 on this one. So back under, so opposite side again, under, around, pull tight. And I'm going to grab where the knot's forming. I'm going to grab and hold just to make sure that the loops are forming properly. So opposite side, under, over, pull tight, and then opposite side again. So under, over, pull tight. And under on the opposite side, over, pull tight, under, and then once you get used to it, is just keep doing. Alright, so we're going to get a close up now. So I'm going to put my finger over the knot so it doesn't come undone. But so we're going under. So the last time we went under was on this side. So we're going to go under on this side now. So under, we're going to go over, back towards us. Now I'll move my finger, and if you watch carefully, as I'm pulling it tight, you can see that loop right there forming. So yeah, every time you're doing a loop and pulling it tight, the braid's just wrapping around like that. And then from there, I'll put my finger on it so it doesn't come undone. Then we're going to go the opposite side, under, over, pull tight, and we're going to make another loop. So we're just going to continue that until we've done it 20 times. And one thing I like about using this tool as well is every single time we're doing a loop, you can see there's heaps more tension getting put on. So each loop's getting tighter and tighter. Alrighty, so we've done 20 loops now, and you can see we've got the FG knot forming here. So now that we've done our 20 loops, we're going to grab that knot so it doesn't come undone. We're going to undo our little wing nut here, and we'll undo this one as well. Pull our line out. Alright, so we're going to do a half hitch now. So we're going to go under our mono, the tail end of the mono, and the braid that's running to your reel. You're going to go under, over, and you can see we've formed that loop there. We're going to go through that loop. And we're just going to pull that tight onto that FG knot. So pull that down onto that FG knot like that. And then we're just going to do the same again. So we've got our mono running with our braid running to your reel. We're going to go, so another half hitch, so around both the braid running to your reel and the mono tail, the tail end, and then around it, back through that loop that's formed. That's going to create our half hitch. We're going to grab these two and pull that half hitch tight onto the FG knot. So now we don't have to hold the FG knot, so that won't come undone now until we finish off the knot. Alright, so now that we've got that FG knot secured, we're going to undo the mono off this tool. We can get rid of the tool now. So we'll put that aside. And now what we're going to do is grab the mono and the braid running to your reel, and we're just going to give it a good pull. Pull it as tight as you can without cutting yourself. It might help to use gloves if you got gloves, but we just want to really pull down on that knot, because we want all those loops that we've created to bite down into the mono. So by pulling the mono and the braid, that's going to make the braid itself, all those loops, bite down into the mono, and that's what actually holds the knot. If you look carefully, you can see this end of the knot has started changing color compared to that end. So that's what we want, but we want that all through the knot, because that's showing that the braid is biting into the mono. So we're going to have to keep pulling that. Alrighty, so now that we've done all our loops, we've done the 2 half hitches to lock off the knot, and we've really given it a good pull and got all those loops to bite into the mono, we can now get some scissors or whatever you want and cut off our mono tail end here. So we're going to cut that nice and close to our knot without cutting the knot itself. Alrighty, so we've got rid of that mono tail end now, and now we're just left with our braided tail end. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to do some more half hitches, but just around the braid running to your reel this time. So we'll do one, pull that nice and tight, do another one, pull that nice and tight as well. And to finish off this knot now, you can do more half hitches, about 2 or 3 more half hitches, and just finish at that. But what I like to do to finish off the knot is go around like we're doing a half hitch, but instead of going through that loop once, I like to wrap it around a few more times. So about 5 times we're going to wrap it around. Alrighty, so there's about 5 wraps there. And then once again, we're just going to pull that down tight. Pull it nice and tight, give that knot another pull. So we've just finished up with that last knot. We've pulled it nice and tight, made sure it was bitten down into the line. So that's the end of the FG knot now. All we got to do is cut this tail end off now of the braid. So I'll cut that off now, and that's the end of the knot. So I've gotten rid of that tail end now, and that's the end of the FG knot. So you can give that another pull now, make sure it's going to hold, which if you followed all the steps and pulled it down, got all those loops to bite into your mono, it's going to hold. So yeah, that's all. So here's our comparison of, so this one is obviously our FG knot. That one's a double uni. I didn't do the best at tying the double uni because I just quickly done it, but you can see there that the double uni is a lot thicker than the FG, so obviously this is going to run through your eyes better than that will, because that'll get caught up. So that's why I prefer the FG, and that's going to be stronger than that when you're using this heavier line too. So that's the FG knot completed now. Hopefully I've taught a few people how to tie a new knot. Let me know what you thought about this little tool. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next one.